for postdoc, and then at Yad Ben Tzvi. And today I'm teaching history, Jewish history at a college, a teachers college at called Sha'anan College in North near Haifa, and just going and publishing, etc. I'm going to today, just this in these days, I'm going to publish my book, which is based on the PhD, and it deals with the collective memory of the destruction in the rabbinic period, in the time of the Mishnah and Talmud. So it's very, very nowadays issues in all terms. And I think that because of your scholarship, I was able to open my mind. I had enough time to open my mind to many theoretical issues about collective memory, about what does it mean to remember the past, etc. Things and so it was a great time, and I was benefited from this to all my life. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Meir. I think the next person chronologically, according to the list I have and according to the faces that I see on my screen, is Asaf Rosen-Tzvi in 2011. Am I correct, Naomi, or have I skipped over someone chronologically here? Asaf,
okay.
do us the honor and tell us where you are and what you're doing.
So I also will start with thanking you. I think that it's more than the option to sit and learn. It's also when you are doing your PhD, you need someone that will tell you that it's worth supporting you to do these things, and it's very important in feeling it. It's very important that you have some support that tell you this. So it was very important for me. Nowadays, in the last years, I'm at the Shalom Hartman Institute. Most of my work there is as a teacher. I'm teaching girls Talmud. I'm responsible for the Talmud teaching at the Hartman School. And I have also a little research scholarship at Hartman. And I have one foot in my research and publishing, but I enjoy most of the time teaching at the high school.
Now, the same year in 2011, you also funded Shira Golani,
Right.
who studied Bible at Hebrew University and was a former neighbor of mine in Jerusalem. And Shira, it's nice to see you again. I moved away. I don't know if you still live there, but I moved away.
Steve, I just want to, oh, sorry, Shira. I just want to quickly say something. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That there's another person before Shira, Limor Mintz-Manor. And she apparently couldn't join us. I'm not sure exactly what happened. She is the only one that didn't, as far as I know, continue in Jewish studies. And she told me she became a nurse in the bone marrow unit, which is also very important. So she's unfortunately not with us. And then, of course, the next in line is Shira. Sorry, Shira.
I just want to add that Limor finished her doctorate before she went on to nursing.
Nursing, yeah, she did made a big change.
Yeah, Shira.
Oh, thank you. It's good seeing everyone. I'm so happy about this opportunity. First to see you, Irene and Stephen, and thank you in person. But also thank you for what I think I totally agree with what Tali said about this reunion of all these people that my life at the Hebrew U and during my PhD years and before. So I'm really glad to see everyone. I'm currently, despite the background, I'm actually not on the beach, but I am in Haifa, so I have a view of the sea from here. I live in Haifa, but I also am quite a bit in Jerusalem, near where Stephen Fastberg used to live. I teach at the Bible department in the Gordon Academic College of Education, which means that I'm part of a team that trains the future Bible teachers of the north of Israel. So very fulfilling job and challenging in a good way. So this is a lot due to all the work I did in the Hebrew University and also to your contribution to it. Again, I'm very thankful. I still have a bit of I'm not totally detached from the Hebrew University because I still serve in the Hebrew University Bible Project, working on ancient translations for the Bible Project. So still feel part of the Hebrew University while having embarked in a new life in a new city, and again, researching and teaching new people here in Haifa. So thank you again, and hello to everyone.
In 2012, two recipients who are here with us today enjoyed your support. The first one who will speak will be Hallel, who was from the Talmud department at Hebrew University.
Yeah, hello. Nice to see everybody, and thank you, Mrs. Licker. My name is Hallel. As Professor Fasper said, I gained my doctorate in the Talmud department, the Hebrew U, in 2018. And now I am I'm doing my postdoc at the Oxford University. It's called the Kennicott Fellow in the Oriental Studies faculty in the University of Oxford. I was honored to get your support in my first year of my doctorate studies, and it enabled me to be a part of a great group of outstanding doctorate students. Part of them are here, and it was a really great contribution to my project, to my doctoral project, and I deeply thank you. Thank you very much.
And the same year, Yonatan Vardi, who's an expert on medieval Hebrew in Spain under the Muslims, also enjoyed your generous support. And Yonatan, bring us up to speed.
Hello. So first of all, thank you so much for your support. It was a very important stage. It was perhaps not the first scholarship that I received, but it was the first scholarship that allowed me to do only research, and it was a very important stage of understanding that research is the thing that I'm doing, and thank you so much for it. I'm doing research on medieval Hebrew poetry written in Muslim Spain 1,000 years ago. I graduated, I finished my PhD at the Hebrew University. I had 1 year of postdoc fellowship in Munich, and now I'm back at my home university, at the Hebrew University. I'm doing a postdoc in the Mandel Scholion Institute. It is also a great chance to see you all. I'm proud to say that two of the people here were great teachers of mine. Both Tali and Hallel were my teachers, and I have strong memories from being your student. So thank you as well.
Thank you. In 2013, Amit Givaryahu was funded by you, and I have to take the opportunity to send regards to Amit from my son. They know each other from their time abroad. So Teddy sends regards, Amit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please say hi to Teddy.
I will.
Hi, it's so good to see you in person. my parents met you and they spoke about you for about 6 months afterwards. I was out of the country when there was a ceremony that year at the Anaticho house. And I happened to be out of the country teaching in New York, and I sent my parents instead of me, and they met you, and they were enamored by you. My mother still remembers you from time to time. So, and I just want to reiterate what everyone said. It's the beginning of a dissertation, the beginning of the doctoral program. Is a very critical juncture, and investing money and resources in the people at that juncture is a make or break moment, I think, for all of us. And it's a make or break moment for the university too. I'm sure for a lot of us, including myself, your funding was what helped us decide to stay at the Hebrew University and not find ourselves somewhere else. So I think the return on investment at that point in time is incredibly great. I'm at the Martin Buber Society of Fellows, which is a joint project of the Hebrew University and the German Federal Department of Education. And I work on the physical media of law in ancient Judaism, so on coins and legal documents, and how ancient Jews and their neighbors reacted and responded to those very physical things, and how they invested them with meaning.
Thank you. I have a special relationship with the next recipient from 2014, Ivri Bunis, who's sitting in Cambridge, England. Ivri was, where I had the privilege of being his supervisor on his doctorate. Ivri, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Professor Fosberg, and nice to see everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate. I must say that, first of all, for me, it's one of the first occasions of interacting with a large group of familiar human beings in a while. So, due to coronavirus, I mostly am confined to my flat here, and so that's very nice. I remember very well the dinner, the Canadian the dinner at the Canadian organization. I think it was the first time I ever wore a dinner jacket. I had never worn a dinner jacket, and without your support, of course, there's no need to say that I wouldn't. Without your support, which afterwards, like Hillel said, turned into the honors program, if I'm not mistaken, then it would have been much harder to get to where I am today. I do research on Hebrew and Aramaic in the Byzantine period, and also more modern Aramaic, and Jewish Aramaic was the topic of my dissertation under Professor Fosberg. And thank you very much. Pleasure.
And last but not least, in 2015, Shlomi Efrati was the recipient of your generosity. And Shlomi, if I'm not mistaken, you're up in Haifa now, or at least you're working on a project in Haifa?
I'm still part of the Haifa Scripta Qumranica Electronica project, a project of digital reconstruction and digital editions of the Qumran scrolls. But currently, I'm actually at Leuven, at the Fort Begijnhof, the historical quarter of Leuven, and waiting to, or looking forward to begin my new postdoc position here in a month or so, and we'll get to it shortly. But first of all, As the last of the speakers, I can only repeat what everyone before me said and express my gratitude and my heartiest thanks to you, Irene and Stephen, for your generosity, for your support, materially and spiritually, for making it possible for me to enjoy the company of teachers. Tzachi was my teacher in first grade, and also friends, mainly from the honorary program during my doctoral doctoral studies. And I wrote my dissertation on the not too well-known rabbinic composition, I mean midrash, an ancient midrash on the Ten Commandments. And again, the opportunity to be relieved from material or material situations, and to devote myself to the study of this composition of its larger context in antiquity and late antiquity is a gift that only a few people can award. I'm deeply grateful for you for making this possible, for allowing me to go on with my academic endeavor. As Professor Fassberg said previously, I am still part of a postdoctoral research on the Qumran scrolls that is actually, how should I say, multi-group, a project of several groups. I'm part of the group of Haifa. And in a little more than a month, I will join the project in Leuven, dealing with textual research on the Aramaic Targums of the Bible, where my part of the, under the supervision of Professor Hector Patmore, and my part of the project will be the location of expression and description of partly lost manuscripts of the Targum in the libraries of Europe. And I'm looking forward for this opportunity to explore the continent and its libraries. Thank you again for making this possible.
Naomi, I turn it back to you or to Ayala.
I just wanted to say that in the meantime, Rebecca Volpe, who also was supposed to be with us, contacted me and said, unfortunately, she can't, she's in a class and she just can't get out of the class now. So she apologized, would have loved to have been on the call. So two of the women that were supposed to be here that would have made more of a balance between men and women were not able to make it apparently today. So they, but I know they would have wanted to.
Well, if we had any questions whether our money was being well spent, those questions have long disappeared after listening to each of you today. What an impressive bunch of scholars you are. We're proud to see that the hands of the Jewish people is in the hands of an intellectual and enthusiastic generation of new scholars, and that encourages us greatly. If I may say a word to Ivry, I could not help but think of a funny story when you told me it was the first time you had to put on a jacket when you went to the Canadian Friends function. So some of you who've been around for a while may remember Yair Yakovich, Zakovich, who was the head of Jewish Studies. And we got very friendly with Yair and his wife, and we've been to their home, they've been to our home, and we invited them to spend a Shabbat with us in Montreal, and also to deliver a Shabbat lecture at Congregation Shar Shemayim, which is one of the largest Conservadox congregations in North America, seats about 1,500 people in the main sanctuary. And so we had a lovely Friday evening dinner at our home in his honor, and we sang Zmirot, and everything was lovely. And towards the end of the evening, Yair, a little sheepishly, comes up to me. He says, Stephen, he says, tomorrow when I speak at the Shar Shemayim, he says, and he's looking uncomfortable. He says, do I have to wear a tie? So that's why I was thinking of Ivri. So I said, well, you don't really have to wear a tie. I have to tell you, though, that the gentleman, the president, the vice president, the gabbai, all who are sitting on the bima, not only wear a tie, but they're in tails and top hats. So you might look a little strange without a tie, but make yourself comfortable. Oh, he said, I better wear a tie. Can you give me one? I said, of course. Then he says, Stephen, he says, I have another problem. I said, what's the problem? Don't worry, we'll come and get you. We'll sit with you. He says, yeah, but I've never put on a tie. I don't know how to tie the knot. So we said, yeah, we'll put on the tie for you. Don't worry. Anyways, that made me think of your story, Ivri. So, and he was great. He went over great. He gave a great speech with a tie. So just a funny background. But so it was really through Yair that we developed a very close connection to Jewish studies at Hebrew University. Also, in another form, I was one of only 2 lay people to be invited to be on the Hebrew University as the University of the Jewish People, which was chaired by in professional capacity by Hanoch Goodfreund, and the late chair was the late Mort Mendel, which was a very exciting committee, mostly of academics, which was my favorite committee that I ever have been on at the Hebrew University. Unfortunately, the great Professor Tversky was supposed to be on the committee, and it was going to be my most exciting venture ever at the Hebrew University, but things were happening. The second intifada was starting, and that had to end. So that was very unfortunate.
Steve, Limor just joined us. So if Stephen wants to hear from Limor now, I see looks like she's just coming from work now. So she'll explain that. Sorry, Stephen. We'll just hear Limor for a minute. I'm glad she could.
I'm just filling in time waiting for you.
The PhD who became a nurse?
Limor is muted though, eh?
Hi.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late. I'm just visiting my grandparents.
Wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
We assumed you were in the hospital.
No,
Working,
not.
but everyone else here has talked a bit about himself and what they've done recently since enjoying the support of the Lippers. You have taken an interesting career path, and I'm sure we would all love to hear how that came to
Yeah.
I see we have technical problems here. She's frozen.
Yes, I think we may have lost her.
I think she's there now. No?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question, or was it a question?
What are you doing now? We'd like to hear your trajet from
Right.
to
Okay.
nurse.
Yeah. So about 6 years ago, when I completed my PhD dissertation, I went to the Katz Center for Judaic Studies in Philadelphia, doing my postdoc for a semester. So at last I had some time to think after finishing my PhD. Actually, it was lovely. I enjoyed there very much, and I studied with the great colleagues. But I started to think about my path, feeling that I really want to be involved in something maybe regarding education or treatment or something like that. So when I was back, I was still working with my my professor, but started to think about some other ideas. And actually, I was hospitalized myself for a problem for like 3 times in a period of 3 months. And then I just realized that working in a hospital with patients, it seems to me like very meaningful and have a lot of satisfaction from work. And not only like individual one, but also doing something like involving myself in the society. So actually it was about a month or 2, and I decided to go for nursing school. So I did a special program of academics. And then finishing nursing school, I really wanted to work with patients, especially chronic patients on oncology. And I found myself in the bone marrow transplant unit. So I worked there now for 4 years. I like it very much. I'm also involved in some projects that we have some ideas about research in the world, and also a special team for palliative care for our patients. So it was an initiative of a colleague and myself. So we have a lot of ideas still want to do there. And actually I can say that my academic career also found itself also useful in things that I'm doing there. So, and of course I love history. So that's really in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
About us.
Yes.
Well, we spoke before at length.
So we won't repeat everything we said. I don't know if it's being recorded, but maybe you'll say something, Irene, because I talked.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you well.
Okay.
Well, we've already spoken about our connection with the Hebrew University for many, many years.
Okay. Sorry, I was late.
It's okay. So we won't repeat it, but we're very happy to meet everybody because we're not, unfortunately, able to come to Israel. We used to come every year, and we look forward to meeting all the students, not only our recipients, but all the interesting things, and we miss it. It was a highlight of our lives. You can hear how important the Hebrew University is to us. It's in our hearts, and we participated so much. We felt so connected to, because we came every year. We connected to the people and the programs. Every year there was a new building or a new program or a new research. It was always very exciting to hear what was going on. But so we missed that. And this has given us an opportunity to catch up with you who have been the recipients from 2003 of our gifts. And we're just very delighted to meet you all in this way. And I understand it's a reunion for you too, because you're all over the world, and it's so interesting to hear. We're so proud of Israelis anyway for your society and what you're giving to the world in terms of water and in research, medicine, so many things, and agriculture. And we follow everything that Israel is doing, and we're proud to be supporters of Israel. We always have been. So it's very nice to meet you individually this way, because we can't hug you and touch you and visit you. So we are just thrilled to hear what you're doing, and we're thank you for this opportunity, and we wish you continued good luck with your work, your teaching, your science, and we know you're making a contribution to the world, which makes us feel so good. So this has been a very good experience for us. We will never forget it. That's one of the good things about the pandemic. We're able to get together this way. You see, there's some good that comes out of this terrible thing. We have a very bad situation in Montreal too. And we're like you, we're the gentleman who said he's stuck in his house. We're luckily in a house, but we are distancing ourselves from everybody. Our 3 children, our 2 grandchildren, they all live in the United States, and we don't get to see them. So we do FaceTime and Zoom, and we meet with friends outside, which is nice in the summer, not so nice in the winter. I don't know what's going to happen in the winter, but we go day by day, right? So we wish you all good luck, and we wish everybody good health.
It's wonderful to hear what everyone has been doing in such diverse fields, and to think that we might have made a bit of a difference. When we started, choosing Jewish studies, in the program of excellence in combination with the university and these scholarship programs, we sort of saw Jewish studies as sometimes as a bit of a left behind sister. In other words, didn't always have the #1 sex appeal like cancer research and physics and other areas. So we were very anxious to do what we could in that area. And looking at the results today, I'm very happy with our choice. And I see a very, very exciting and intellectually gifted group of young scholars. And I can only say we're very, very pleased, and it's a great honor and pleasure for Irene and I to meet you all. And we wish you all Hatzlacha, Kol Tuv, V'Shalom B'Eretz Yerushalayim. That's what we wish for, peace one day.
Thank you so much.
Health. Peace and health.
Peace and health, that's right.
Thank you. That was just beautifully said. And thank you all for taking an hour of your time to join us. I think it's wonderful as someone who has not been with the organization for so long. It's only just been over a year. We work towards this, and we work to support the university because we have a passion for it. But we're here and you're there, and to see the fruits of everything, and to see faces, and to put names, and to see what we're accomplishing is just, for me, fantastic. I work with Naomi all the time, who has the pleasure of being on campus, but we don't. And I don't know when we get to visit again either. So this has just been wonderful. Just been great. So thank you all very much. I don't know if anybody has anything else to say. Okay.
Yes, thank you again.
I'd like to thank our chairman. I'd like to thank our national executive president, Rami Kleiman, who's here with us today, Rami. And of course, Naomi, who's our secret treasure and force for Canada in Jerusalem.
Yay,
So,
Naomi.
Yes.
You're my secret treasure in Montreal.
Yes. Pleasure to work with her always.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
so
Mutual,
thank you, all of you. And thank you, Professor, and for putting this together and acting as an excellent chairman. And
We hope to meet you eventually. Let's hope in the future we can get together in a more intimate way.
Yes.
Please God.
That is the goal.
We all hope that. Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Amen.
So thank you, everybody. You have a good rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us, and we'll enjoy the rest of our afternoon.
Toda rabah, להתראות.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
תודה רבה.